Hey, what's going on, friends? Thank you so much for being willing to go to camp and invest in the lives of students. I just want to make a video to kind of help condense a lot of the information that we would have at a camp meeting, as well as videos online. As I try to look at different videos to help equip you guys, I realized it'd take a lot of videos to get all the information across. So my hope is that this video can get everything that really pertains to our church and our ministry with camp all into one short video for you to listen or watch. And why this matters, right? That's the first thing I wanted to start with, is really setting some goals, setting the vision before we get into logistical stuff that we have to talk about, but isn't always the most fun to talk about. And camp leadership, you guys, it matters immensely, right? You're not just there to supervise and chaperone. You're actually there to help shepherd the students, to help them have that encounter with God and process spiritual decisions and spiritual moments where the Spirit of God starts to work on their heart, or maybe even draw some of them to Himself for the first time. You are the point person that God has set apart to go to camp with us and help these students have those moments together. Camps are these compressed discipleship environments where students are removed from the day-to-day, the busyness, the stress, the worry, and they're able to have this unique experience with God. And you guys are a pivotal part of that experience. And there are some expectations and really some non-negotiable items for you guys, and especially for the students, right? All the services are mandatory. The chapel services, the meals, they're mandatory. All of those things, unless a student is sick or something is wrong, like physically, they need to be at all the services and all the meals, and ideally, you guys can sit together. So that may mean meeting up and gathering before you go to chapel, meeting up and gathering before you go to the meal. So those moments you can all have together. And you guys as leaders need to be at everything. There have been times where leaders don't feel the need to go to chapel, don't feel the need to go to meals. It's for you guys too. It's a time for you to be spiritually refreshed as you invest in these students. And I hope and pray that each of us can represent God well, our church well, and respect all the camp rules. At all times, we are representing our church, we're representing the camp to these students, and they're going to be watching what we do and how we respond to stuff. And there is a level of balance with pacing, right? Because pacing does matter. You don't want to rush students from moment to moment and potentially get in the way of something God may be doing. But you also don't want them to lollygag their way there and actually stall because they don't want to go to chapel. They don't want to go to their meal times. We have to understand that structure creates space for the Spirit of God to work, right? All the meals are scheduled and they're provided. There is some extra time there for snacks and candies and things like that. Totally okay to let your students have snacks. And if they don't want to eat, just have them sit with you. Have them be a part of their cabin time and hang out with their friends. That way we can have those moments to where ministry happens in those times, right? If we understand that this is not just downtime or a break time, these are ministry moments that over a meal you can do huge things and God can use you in mighty ways. And I pray that you guys can just be present. Keep your phone away, keep your eyes locked on them, talking with them, engaging with them. And some of the best conversations I've had have actually happened over a meal and continued from there. We want to turn these logistical things into ministry moments. And there's a lot of free time that students will have. I pray that during that free time, you don't see that as like your off time, but instead you see that as an opportunity to connect with the students in unstructured moments through hanging out with them and participating in the events and whatever the camp is offering at that time, to be a part of it and do the free time with them. And try to be intentional with students throughout this time, at least like a one-on-one moment if you can, but really to pull a student to the side, get them something to drink, hang out with them, really engage in a conversation and get to know them personally, which I get it. It can be intimidating to try to get to know some high school students. So there's some basic things that I always use to ask some students to kind of start a conversation. At any point in this, if you feel the Spirit prompting or there's something that you connect with, don't keep going through the list. Just really press in on that thing. You can ask them things about like hobbies, things they like to do for fun, their family structure, with how many siblings, mom, dad, step. Just be sensitive because some of these students are going to have some rough home lives, right? There's school, where they go, high school, private school, homeschool, whatever that may be, sports and extracurriculars. Just really try to ask them and go through these lists of figuring out what school they go to. Do they have siblings or not? Do they have any hobbies? Do they play sports? Do they do other stuff like theater and choir and things like that? Those are all really good ways to start to understand and get them to understand that you care about them. And you really want to make sure that you ask good questions and that you listen more than you talk. That is a crucial thing of building trust, is that you just sit, you look at them, you ask the question, and you just listen to them and let them be heard. And another thing that's super important for you guys to understand is that you're there to help students process and decompress what he's doing in their life on the mountain. Right? After sessions, if you can find your students, engage with them, help them talk through the chapel and what God spoke to them and what they took away and how they're going to live it out, really help them process through the stuff that's shared at chapel and devotionals and things like that. There's going to be some spiritual and emotional weight that's going to come with this investment in them for you and for them. So you really want to help them process through that spiritual and emotional weight as God reveals things to them. You can ask them questions like, hey, what stood out to you about the speaker? Or, hey, what did God start stirring in your heart, either convicting you of something maybe you shouldn't be doing or something that you should be doing? And help make whatever God's speaking to them applicable in their real life, to process from head knowledge to heart change to living it out amongst themselves and with their peers. Camp is a laboring experience, friends. God does some deep work during camp, and you guys are a crucial part of that. Another thing that's super important for us to understand is that communication is going to be super important. We're going to be sending you emails and text messages, so please check your emails and text for updates and needs that we may have with setup, teardown, things like that. Just pay attention to the leadership communication so that way you guys are informed, because we put the effort to help make sure you guys aren't in the dark, and we really want you guys to be able to have everything that you need. So please be paying attention to your emails and text messages and ask any questions that you may have. And I really just hope you guys can be flexible and adaptable, because there's a huge thing that God wants to do in the lives of each and every student, and you are not there by accident. God has called you, and you've said yes to go and lead these students at camp. And you're helping shape moments that some students, a lot of students, will be marked by forever. They may remember this well into their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and be in the same place of leading a high school trip sometime later because of you investing in them. And faith, some conviction, challenges are often formed in the conversations away from chapel that God starts during the sermons, that he starts during the devotionals and the Bible studies. Those things, God will start to stir something, and faith starts to be formed as you talk them through what God is speaking to them. Thank you so much for saying yes to camp. From the bottom of my heart, it is a great joy to serve alongside you guys as we take these students up the mountain. And if there's any questions that you have, you can email them back to us. You can text me or text Joy or whoever it is, or just even leave a comment on the video if you want to do it that way. Whatever it is, I'm here, and I want to try to equip you to be the most effective that you can be for these students, so that way these students can be marked into eternity.